SVC Media.
Welcome to the iGaming Daily Podcast, analysing the news from the betting and gaming industry all over the globe, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of SBC iGaming Daily Podcast, the Marketing Edition. iGaming Daily is presented by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market.
I am Ivana Flynn, and I'm welcoming my two wonderful guests, Héctor and John. Huge name in marketing, huge name in SEOs, and today we'll be talking about really dirty business, cleaning up Google penalties. Hello, guys. Shortly introduce yourself, please. And we're going to dive into it. Héctor, welcome.
Hello. Thank you, Ivana, for having me. I'm Héctor. I'm SEO, technical SEO in Evoke. And I've been here working on technical part in SEO since 5 years ago. And I'm really happy to you invite me to this podcast. So thank you very much.
Thank you for accepting our invite. And John, I mean, no need to introduce yourself, but just in case there is some weird soul out there who never heard of you, ladies and gentlemen, John.
Yes, I'm very keen to hear more about Héctor's technical experience. I have less of the technical SEO background, but more focused on B2B lately, affiliate coaching. So I try to help affiliates, and I have the luxury, like Ivana, to interview a lot of really good SEO people. So I think Héctor and Ivana, I'll get you both on my show at some point. So my job is to ask the stupid questions to learn from expert like you guys.
Oh, this is why I love podcasts and running podcasts, because I always learn. And when it comes to Héctor's technical SEO abilities, he's one of the top. I worked with him. I hired him for Mr. Green William Hill. And whatever took us like 2-3 days of analyzing of what's going on, Héctor had it in a few hours, So he's probably the best of the best that we can have in iGaming technical. He's seen it all.
Thank you very much.
And that's why he's here, because lots of this Google down rankings and lots of penalties come as well from technical. You'll be, of course, John, telling us about affiliate because they see it much more due to lack of branding or being a little bit more adventurous with trying new approaches. And I will be moderating and learning. So Google penalties, and this is a nasty one. We all experienced them, right? What is the worst, absolutely worst penalty you have seen? Was it manual? Was it algo? You haven't experienced one. You have been dead lucky. What is it? I mean, this year and last year were crazy, right? So, John, as you are coming from affiliates, they've seen penalties left and right. Every time Google sneezes and runs some update, some affiliate website disappears from the, SERPs completely. So share, what have you seen? Tell us the gory details.
The stuff I usually see are not really situations where people are crying. It's like large sites like, this happened a long time ago with Ask Gamblers, LCB.org, even Finixio. When they lose, it's not a sad story because they made so much money that they're basically pushing the limits of SEO, that when they crash and they're maybe taken out for 9 months, that this was worth it for them to do it. So if you want to take those risks, go ahead. But I think it depends on what kind of site you're dealing with and how far you are in the journey. Like, imagine Casino Meister getting a penalty, which I don't think they've ever had one, but they've never really pushed the limits of SEO. So the stuff I'm kind of dealing with when I talk to affiliate friends is less on the penalty side, and it's more on the new changes in Google where they're just basically being ignored by Google. So I'm very fortunate that I haven't had a lot of penalty experience, but maybe I kind of wish I did, because when I see those people with penalties, they seem to be in a very good position where they've made so much money that the penalty was worth all the effort. And when I see how they recover from it, I just learn from them. I mean, like LCB, like they're LCB.org because they used to be latestcasinobonuses.com. They made a very extreme change in saying, let's change the domain. Let's make it .org, make it so it's kind of cleaner. They just did a big change in that. And, I asked Joshua from LCB when that happened, and he said that worked out really well. But even if it didn't, I don't think he'd be crying.
Yeah, but I mean, that's it. That's with affiliation. They are very adventurous. They always try the newest. They push the limits. I mean, parasite SEO, you don't see it on operator side, right? That's affiliates. And it works. I mean, heads down, I got obsessed by it, studying it, understanding it. I almost cried when Techopedia got hit 3 times because I was obsessed with that website. I used to call it the king of the parasite SEO. And when it got hit, I was really sad because I was learning from it every step of the way, how they're doing it, as well as gamblers or time to play. They take risks. I don't know what they're doing, but I know some, I'm not saying those, but some buy traffic. They manipulate CTRs. Google is going to find that out. But meanwhile, if you want that, and you can afford that, then of course make that money and moving on. And these affiliates that do this, they never had just one project, right? They have got projects after projects. And many times it's true, you cannot recover from the penalty. You just can't. You move on, right? But as you said, redirection works. Redirection usually works longer term. But as well, Google not giving you love, it's sort of penalty. It's a sandbox. Google is telling you, you're not good enough for us to actually show you to our visitors. So how do you deal with Google Sandbox? I personally, my dealing with it is hating it. But Hector, okay, go ahead.
I like the way that John said about how you push your limits. To be honest, in terms of an SEO, it's what we want. We want to try to find which is the limit, where we can go. And of course, we want to have this, in some way, an SEO having a penalty. It's like, you have a medal because you try to go really far. But the question here is, which are the strategy? First of all, it's something that you want to maintain in the long term, because maybe when you are going so far, it's just something really temporary. So we need to be sure that we are doing, and also, exactly, it depends on the company, etc. As operator or you need to be sure what you are doing, because you can't afford a penalty, or it's really dangerous for you. So for that reason, you try to follow the rules as much as possible to avoid any time or any kind of thing that can affect you and your results, especially because the goal is to make money. That's the goal.
Yes, but penalty can be liquidational for some. If you have lots and lots and lots of assets out there and one pick up penalty and you can carry on, that's great. But imagine if you bought a penalty to MrGreen.com or WilliamHill.com. I mean, bye-bye, Hector. That will be your last day on a job. You know what I mean? Like, in operator side, you need to be much more careful. You cannot afford traffic manipulation, CTR manipulation. You go careful with backlinks that we don't buy. We earn them. Absolutely. We're very careful with that. But on affiliates, you can go wild, wild, wild. And I want to talk about here something else as well. Google constantly runs something, either a new update or just testing something in a local market. Currently, Australia is going crazy. There's a lot of heat there. And people start to panic because naturally when Google tests or run anything, you see volatility, right? That's completely normal. And my problem is, and I see it a lot, people panic. And they are, oh my goodness, we dropped 20 clicks a day. What would you tell them? Because I say, sit on your hands, don't panic, wait your turn, because most likely it's going to come up. And if it doesn't, then you start to deal with it. But what's your approach? One from affiliate, one from operator. How would you go about it, John?
What I've done in this situation of just sending referrals to SEO agencies and kind of getting a chance to be behind the curtains and watch what they do. It's always a weird mix. I mean, they're always trying to improve link building to make it a quality approach, and they're always very critical of content. So, it's, I'm personally just kind of watching what's happening. And we have, like, where we sit as a company is we have a lot of gambling affiliates that do SEO as their marketing channel as customers. Sometimes when we see that we've lost the customer, it's for that reason, because Google's been so volatile for them that they're like, hey guys, like, look, we just lost 90% of our revenue in a short period of time. So it's very difficult to kind of recover. What I've been doing behind the scenes is asking the constant question. What do SEO affiliates need to do to stay on top of this to avoid either penalties or situations when Google becomes volatile? And the common answers I get back is, I think technical SEO always should be invested in, but the common answers are kind of like, I think a lot of people lack quality. Like, Google's changed so much that it's basically forcing these basic review sites to kind of suffer. Like, ones that would rank well in New Zealand and Australia that have been just printing money for years. They're not working anymore. And we've actually had some potential customers that I know for a fact we will never have them as a customer because they've lost 90% of their traffic, and I can see it on Ahrefs. So I think it's not easy to pivot and say, what is a product? Like, can you build a product or service that's super useful that people mention naturally or makes your job as a link builder 10 times easier? Like I like referencing sites like Ask Gamblers and Casino Meister. It's like, why did Gen2 acquire them? Because they're products that they stand on their own and they build links naturally without even trying. And imagine if you put an effort into both link building, technical SEO. I mean, these are the assets that I see on the affiliate side that are being constantly acquired. And if you look at the companies like Game Lounge, Better Collective that are going, what are they buying? And in gambling.com, like they're buying more products. Like OddsJam for 160 million. That's a big product that stands on its own. And what I think is special here is like if you give these amazing products or projects and you put them in like your hands or Hector's hands, that's where I'd want to see how big these things can get when you've got the right SEO people cranking them out.
Yeah, and how operators deal with that, we will get back after a short break.
Join us for SBC Summit Malta from the 10th to the 12th of June. With over 75 exhibitors and more than 250 expert speakers, our expanded agenda covers all aspects of the European gaming industry. Get your tickets now at sbcevents.com.
Good. So, yes, I think a lot of thinking in affiliate part, just to close this thought, is if we cannot beat them, we buy them. That's what we see a lot in Catena, Game Lounge, all of these huge places, Legend. But operators have completely different game here, right? So how would you deal with it, Hector? And I remember we always had there's a volatility. We lost one position on a huge keyword, which of course it's money, but people would be like, oh my goodness, do something, especially the commercial would go crazy. How do you do it? I mean, you have got extreme amount of SEO experience on your belt. What is your recommendation? Because we see this all the time. At least once a month, there is a massive volatility. Usually it's not announced from Google, but what do you do?
I think that one of the things that is more important to do is to track the things. And I mean track is what did you change in terms of content, in terms of servers, or in terms of the website, what domains you buy, etc. All these things you need to track it, because when you saw a drop, you can see a spot exactly when was done. And in that case, you can say, okay, that day that we dropped, what we changed? Or there were an update on the servers, or I don't know, we changed the content, and that gives you a clue. It's to be honest, it's really complex, especially you are working in a big. If you are working in a company that's big and you have a lot of departments, it's quite complex to find all the information and to gather all the information. Also, I would say that affiliates also, based on compared with operators, based on the technology that they are using, is totally different. It's not the same a site that is a WordPress or something like that is a HTML, rather than an operator that is using a JavaScript, which is more complex to try to render properly for Google, etc. Maybe you have problems in rendering and you are showing the customers one thing and Google is seeing other. Those kind of things you need to be aware and be clear that you don't have this type of issues. Yeah.
Yes, so I think the lesson here is not every drop is a Google penalty. Many times it's us. We change something. You change load balancers, right? People don't even think this is SEO, but this is SEO because they are absolutely essential, especially on huge sites for the traffic to be equally distributed so we can crawl it. People can actually visit it, doesn't crash all the time. So you change this and it drops, or you change caching and it drops. And many times people panic and think, oh my goodness, we picked up penalty. Google hates us. Google did something, and it's us. So as Hector said, once the, Google algorithm sort of stop rolling, so you don't know what's hitting you left and right, you start to, if you don't recover fully back and go higher potentially, you start to look at what you have done, what your developers done. And I think this is where people don't understand how communication is important. In a small company, it is easy. If it's 5 of you, you all know what you're doing. But in a place like Evoke, where you have got huge websites like 888, William Hill, Mr. Green, the communication is crucial. And I think that's what companies could do better, in my humble opinion, is education on SEO. Hector wants to say something. I see it on you.
Sorry. I would say that this applies not only when you drop, also when you go up. You need to see, okay, why this step? And it's important because, okay, maybe we can replicate this to other websites. So it's important to track this, not only for drops, even for going up. Yeah.
Absolutely, because you can be under attack that works very temporarily, and it looks like, oh my goodness, we're getting all this position, yet you are being given negative SEO attack by links, or some, weaponized crawling thing going on, or something that is actually might hurt you long term. So yes, even if you're going up, even though we don't like to look at it because it's like, we just like to pray, please keep going up. Or we are being, crawled more from some AI thing because, a lot of scrapers out there, and you think like, oh, this is looking good for me. And then you need to explain, why did you go up and why are you suddenly down? So yes, keep that in mind. Even if you're going up, you need to understand why you're going up. And hopefully it's a good reason why you're going up, because you're an amazing SEO. But if there is something fishy going on behind the scenes, you need to know about it. Good. I think now we need to discuss a little bit difference between algo penalty and manual penalty, because time ago, manual penalty was like certain death, right? Now manual penalty, they tell you, you messed up here, please clean up this, and you can recover. We saw it on Phoenix SEO sites. You can recover within days, weeks, which is amazing. And I think by now the algo penalty is a little bit more difficult than it used to be. Where do you stand on this? Which one would you rather pick up if you have to choose this way?
Neither.
Yes, but you have to choose. Gun to your head.
Yeah.
Manual or algo?
I would say manual. I know that is worst, but at least Google provides you some information about what happened. When it's a change in the algorithm, you don't know what happens. What is the thing?
Yeah, I would say the same.
Yeah, because you go to Google Search Console and you get, okay, not a good wake-up call when you see the manual penalty, but they tell you, like, on this page, we detected AI content, too many links, manipulation here, manipulation there, or it's a, take down because you are in a land you shouldn't be. So maybe you are displaying too much in Australia where you really don't have a license and you shouldn't be visible at all. So they took you down for some legal reasons. But as you said, algo, you need to do that audit yourself. You need to go through every link. You need to go through every attack. You need to go through all the content and just thinking like, is this being seen as AI content? Because when I'm writing, I sound like AI. So yes, I'm with you. I would rather pick up none, but if I have to, then manual. And it's still, you might recover it like this and you might recover it never, because Google.
I was just going to say, like, what I think is important as well. It's like when you're trying to, help management understand what's happening and to make the right decisions, there's nothing worse than getting the advice of like lots of different SEOs on, like, when it's manual, it's like you're in a narrow path. You kind of know what to fix. When it's algo, it's kind of like you're going to get so many different things. And what I think is maybe unfortunate about our space is that sometimes the person who sells the solution the best ends up getting the contract, or you actually, like, the people that need to make the right decisions don't always have the power to it. And then you're constantly fighting with management about trying to educate them on a topic that, I think this is one of our weak spots in the industry. We have management that understands how valuable SEO is, but they don't know where to start. And sometimes they trust the right thing they want to hear. Like, everyone wants to hear the wrong thing. We'll get you back to number one. And it's like that sells everything, unfortunately.
Absolutely. But you are right. How many C-levels are from SEO? Sorry, Hector, go ahead. Just wanted to put that out there. How many?
No. It was just that it's exactly what you said before. Education. We need to educate them, because if not, we waste our time. We need to tell them, the people, teach them and explain it in a easy way. If not, they don't understand anything.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And this is what the podcast is about. It's education, just to give people a little bit of idea how SEO works. Obviously, if you want to go to the dark side, welcome, become an SEO. But if you don't, and you just want to understand a little bit how things work, listen to us, listen to Hector, listen to John, and pick our brains. But I loved what you said, that it happened. It is problem when you get algo, and now so many people give you opinions, especially when you get outside agencies. If they are selling content, they're going to say your content is bad. If they are selling links, they're going to tell you need to clean up links and we need to rebuild all your backlink profile. If they are doing any AI solutions, they will say you need to be, a little bit more AI driven and need to automate, and you basically never get the real thing. That's why I think you need to usually have at least one really good SEO in-house that tells you could be, but could be as well load of, lies. Good. So here we go. Education is the clue. And I hope you really enjoyed this podcast with Héctor and with John. And sorry, it was just so short. 20 minutes go like this. We managed to share very, very, very little. So I think we'll have to be back this year with observing what happened penalties wise, Google updates wise, sometimes in November, December, to tell people we were right, you were wrong sort of thing. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to today's iGaming Daily podcast, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. If you want to find out more about some of the subjects raised today, feel free to explore any of the sites in the SBC News Network or check out the latest edition of the SBC Leaders magazine. Happy reading.